Today on XboxerBriefs, we take a brief look at the Xbox exclusive first-person brawler that's unlike just about anything you've played before. This is Breakdown. From the opening moments in Breakdown, I knew I was in for a wild ride. You wake in some sort of facility after having been in a coma, unclear of why you're even there, being told that you are the last hope for humanity. After a brief post-coma rehab session that functions as your tutorial, the doctors give you a little something to help you rest, and things go a little nuts.
Don't worry, we gave you a little something to help you rest. We'll continue with your rehab after you wake up. Who are you?
Kill him.
Meet Alex. She's here to rescue you, for some reason, but first we've got to do something about that sedation.
Okay, now it's time to lose your lunch. First thing we gotta do is get out of this building, and then meet up with Glenn.
You urgently need to get back to someone named Glenn and escape this facility, which has now been overrun with even more military and ripped, bulletproof, Mr. Clean-looking alien super soldiers. Seemingly in an unwinnable situation, Derek's powers begin to emerge, so it's time to punch, kick, and block bullets as you make your way through the roof to escape. Breakdown's story is one of its strongest features, so I won't delve too deeply beyond this early setup, but I will say it's hard to ignore the influences of other contemporary first-person shooters and movies like The Matrix, and it uses those influences to weave a wild sci-fi plot that goes in some really insane directions. Also, what's up with this cat? Playing out entirely in first-person mode, Breakdown's Immersion is fantastic. Most notable is the melee combat, where variations on punching, kicking, and blocking are assigned combinations of the left analog stick and the triggers. Ammo clips need to be pulled from downed enemies, health is regained by eating energy bars, or drinking juice from vending machines, and climbing ladders, using key cards, or crawling through tight corridors are done seamlessly through Derek's eyes. You can even give yourself a good stare down in the mirrors on occasion. It's a fun approach to things that fans of Half-Life may already be used to, and it really sells the environment. Derek has a modest arsenal, but later on it's going to be less about the weapons and more about how you brawl your way through the enemy lines. Enemy lock-on is a little different than your standard console aim assist, and you can cycle through potential targets relatively easily. It'll feel a little weird at first, although it does make the gunplay a little simplistic, but becomes necessary when you're swinging with your fists, as you don't want to end up missing your target when you're within melee range. On the technical side, Breakdown plays well, with the exception of the occasional pause that pops up in empty hallways when the system is loading the next area of the game. It's usually just a very brief moment, but it can impact immersion just a bit, although I suppose that it does validate that you're at least headed in the right direction. Aside from this, a few of the animations can be a little jarring from the first-person perspective, in particular the side roll and the back spring. Neither are broken, they just feel like they may lead to some motion sickness if you aren't ready for it or you use them too frequently. Character models are very well detailed and animate nicely, which should be the case given that the game forgoes traditional cutscenes, and the vocal performances make the characters pop. There's also a lot of little nuggets of info spread throughout the game on clipboards that are absolutely worth reading to help flesh out the story even further. Breakdown was a real surprise to me when I played it at release, having only heard about it from an OXM preview and demo disc. While it wasn't universally praised for its gameplay, the narrative it spins hits on some sci-fi magic, and I love it. It's not without its share of challenges in both difficulty and traversal, but it's one of those experiences that once you get the hang of the auto-lock and the flow of melee combat, you shouldn't miss. At the time of this video, Breakdown is fairly inexpensive at less than $15 for a complete physical copy, and should be relatively easy to find despite being an Xbox exclusive. Additionally, the game is available through backwards compatibility on both the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, with the latter outputting improved frame rates and higher resolution, so there are plenty of options for you to play. Its inclusion in the backwards compatibility program gives me hope that someday Namco may revisit this intellectual property, even if only for a remake or a reboot. If you enjoyed the review, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who may be missing out on some of the great games for the original Xbox. I also stream some of my recording sessions that I use for these videos live on Twitch, and a link to my channel can be found in the description below. Hope to see you in chat sometime soon. That should about do it for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.